Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play SimCity. And as promised, the last time I played, we are going to do the tour of the region. We're going to revisit some of the old locations. We're going to start with Las Brussels, which is, of course, the first city that played kind of seriously with this. Just going to make sure we are live streaming this, which is why I'm looking over here and making sure that everything survived. Sometimes when I start the recording, the audio drops out, but it seems like we are okay. All right. Las Brussels. So, you know, it's funny, this is my first city that I did, and even though I had, like, no idea how to optimize things and how to do traffic and all those things, somehow we still ended up with a city with a pretty decent population. I don't know how that happened. Now, one of the things is we were getting kind of crippled by traffic. I guess I could start it up on the slow speed. We were having some major traffic problems because A, the design was kind of dumb, and B, A and B? Sure. The problem was that at the time, the traffic algorithms were still kind of sketchy. And now, you know, things have improved. One, like, I mean, you know, we've got a better grasp of how things are supposed to work. But also, the traffic algorithms have improved considerably. So, unfortunately, and that makes me a little bit sad in that I did have a really pretty avenue coming in here. And this one park on the right is giving me a bit of a graphic glitch at certain resolutions. It's kind of funny. Like the road disappears. Yeah, I mean, originally when I had these thin parks all along here, and then I just had the little road that went through, and then sort of another road over here, and it makes me kind of sad to lose that. And part of the problem now is that I can't put those thin parks back the way they're supposed to be, because yeah, stream's still going well, good. Because these roads are all angled, so you get this problem here where the parks are all kind of cockeyed. I don't know if that's a good word, but it's a word, so I'm using it. Yeah, so I'm not sure what to do about that. It's really too bad, because it did look nice before. Now, if I had faith that the new traffic system had fixed absolutely everything, well then, in that case, I might go and make straight lines over here. And it could be. I mean, clearly we've got some traffic jams. On the other hand, we do have a city of population of over 200,000. To a certain extent, there's going to be traffic jams. It's 200,000 people in a relatively compact area. I mean, if you've ever been downtown anywhere big, you know, downtown Toronto, for example, is the example I know best, the traffic there always sucks. So maybe the problem is that SimCity is just too perfect. Yeah, I don't think SimCity's ever been accused of that. Too perfect, yeah. Its traffic simulation is just too good. That's the problem. We need a get fudged traffic for our cities. But anyway, I'm going to ramp it all the way up to cheetah speed. And I actually just want to watch the city go for a while. Because obviously the traffic, you know, sort of takes a while to kind of flow and find its place. Yeah, and people in the stream are saying that it's lagging. It's definitely not dropping any frames at my end. So I just think that it's a good chance that on the default setting of 1080p, it's just a little too much for people. Although, I guess graphically I'm getting some lag. Maybe the simulation is lagging, is the problem. But if you're having problems, you can turn it down to 480p. And if it continues to be a problem, what I'll do is I'll just get rid of the 1080p and just stream it at 720. So, and I apologize to everyone on YouTube who's like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, the game is definitely on the laggy side, though. Holy cow. It's kind of fun. It could be just by virtue of encoding things at 1080p, but it could also be by virtue of just having so much goddamn traffic. So, you know, it's interesting to revisit the city. At the time, I was a little bit bummed by the fact that I'd made everything so square, but the fact of the matter is, I don't feel that once it fills in with these skyscrapers, the squareness stops to bother me as much, and it feels just kind of, I mean, it feels like kind of a legit city. These roads, what kind of quality roads are we talking about here? No, I want to click on the road itself. Come on. There we go. Some of these are medium density. And I think these connecting ones were all medium density. And the reason they were medium density is because at the time, yeah, the game is running slow. I'm going to have to stream at a lower quality. So we'll continue with this part for now, but then we'll move on. At the time, medium density roads did not create traffic lights when they intersected with an avenue. Now that has changed. They do intersect now. Now, part of the reason, you know, they added these traffic lights and people were like, no, not traffic lights. And we're like, well, relax, we've improved the traffic light AI and things and behavior better. And I think that's true. Certainly the right-handed turns on a red light has really done quite wonders, and I think has improved performance quite a lot. So, you know, we'll have to put up with it. I suppose at this point I could upgrade these to high-density streets. That being said, I'm not convinced that that's really going to make much of a difference in terms of these bottlenecks, because the medium-density streets already have the double lanes, right? So the high-density, I think it's possible the cars may be able to drive a little faster on it, but the fact remains that, you know, if the cars aren't moving, period, then having a higher max speed is not going to make a difference. It's not like going to high density here adds a third lane, for example. Unlike the avenues, where going from medium to high adds that third lane, or the sixth lane, fifth and sixth lane, however you want to look at it. So, I'm not sure. You know, the traffic here, I feel like, barring a proper redesign with a lot of mass transit, I think the traffic jams are always going to exist here, and to a great extent, it's not the road system to blame so much as my zoning layout, I think, is the major problem that remains in these cities. People just trying to get places. Like, where's my... Do I not have any industrial here? Did I wipe out all the industrial in this city? I did. So it's people coming in and out of town. That's the issue. Hence these bottlenecks and things. And obviously the tourism industry. Now, the tourism industry did suffer for a long time, and I suspect that they're probably not quite better yet. Look at this. Look at all the traffic here, too. I don't think Las Brussels is salvageable without, like, dramatically just sort of, like, bulldozing a lot of things and redesigning things pretty insanely. And... I mean, you know, what are you going to do with the residential blocks? You could actually cut down on the number of roads. Like, that's one of the things at this point. These are pretty tight blocks, and really, we don't need these roads sort of in between these guys right over here, right? If I cut out this block, some of these buildings may be facing sort of the inside here, but assuming that they can bounce back to this density facing the other way, we should have just as many buildings available to us here. And we can cut back on an intersection, which will help the inner city traffic. The problem still remains this stuff right here. And even with my like little clever attempt at making these kind of angled roads with the idea that, well, it'll stop anyone from, like, if you're trying to get, say, you're coming in from the city at the bottom here, and you're trying to get to this baseball park, for example, you will not, well, maybe that's not true, actually. I guess they're all about the same. I was going to say you will not use this first road because this little crooked thing will stop you from doing that, but that's not true. Still, the traffic is pretty evenly divided among all these things, so I guess they're doing the congestion avoidance just fine. The problem is all roads are equally congested. I think a better approach, frankly, would be to have bisected the city, and I guess I could go back to doing that. I could remove these little intersections here and just rebuild the avenue connection over here, with the advantage that we would no longer have four-way stops. Instead, we would have T intersections everywhere, which is certainly better. Although all of a sudden, a lot of the traffic's cleared up. Oh, that's because it's the it's the morning. All the overnight traffic is cleared, and we're about to get another crush here as everyone leaves in the day. I think that might be a decent approach. We might get rid of all these little interconnecting roads here, and just reconnect the avenue at the bottom, and see if that improves things. It's been a while since we've tried that approach, and I have tried that approach in the past, but it has been some time. In fact, we might not even make it a four-way stop. We could do something, you know, if we got rid of these buildings here, we could have one connection sort of come in here, and this one come in a little further up the top, so there would be two T intersections, which may continue to improve the flow. What I think I'm going to do, and I realize that this video was pretty short, is I think I'm going to stop the stream and the recording and drop it down to 720p and see if that helps with the lag for people. And also, I still feel like the game runs a little slow here, and it might just be that my encoder is taking up too much of my CPU power. And we'll give that an experiment. So I apologize for the short episode, but we'll be right back with another little bit of Las Brussels. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.